So very good morning from Vevey. Today we are in a very special town, and we've got with us our guide, which is specialized guide, and she's going to talk more about where we are and what are we doing today this morning. So I give it to you. So where exactly are we, and what exactly is the historic things about what our tour today?
Now we are here at the place where Charlie Chaplin spent his last 25 years of his life. It's a Chaplin's World.
Oh wow.
And it's in Corsier, the city or the village next to Vevey. And Vevey is a little town next or between Lausanne and Montreux. Montreux, which is very known for his jazz festival.
Great. So we have a half an hour tour with yourself. We want to see the best of Charlie Chaplin and to know a lot about him, about the character, about where he stayed, what he did. So I hope we can cover it all today.
Yes, I hope that I can really tell you everything I can, because normally a visit takes 1.5 hours, but it's 19 minutes don't really are enough to tell the whole life of Charlie Chaplin. So he was born in London, as you are coming from.
Oh wow,
aren't you?
okay,
yes. In a very poor place. It's Lambeth,
Lambeth, of course.
Lambeth, south of Kennington.
Right.
And he was born there in a very poor family surrounding. And if you are looking at the history of Charlie Chaplin, you could think it's a fairy tale, because he became the most rich man living in the United States and the most rich or the most best paid actor in the 1917s in the US. So with 28 he was the richest man in the United States.
Oh wow.
And yes, he came from a little boy from Lambeth to the richest man in Hollywood. And he was really one of the first, if not the first, emblematic and universal known person from Hollywood.
Great. So tell me something. He was born in London. He was a British person. He lived in America. How did he ended up in Switzerland?
That's in fact, he went to America because he was scouted by Fred Carnot.
All right.
Fred Carnot was a man who had about 30 groups and troops around Europe, Britain, continental Europe, Canada, and America. And he was scouted from Fred Carnot to go to the United States with this troop. They were acrobats, they were clowns.
Oh, wow.
And in America he was discovered by Max Sennett. Max Sennett was the chief of Keystone Film Company, and Charlie Chaplin had the chance to start in 1940 at the Max Sennett Film Studios of Keystone. So then every year he changed, and after 4 years he got the most famous person with this character of the tramp. And the character of the tramp, he put his clothes on in his second film in Hollywood, and that was such a success that everybody wanted to see this character as a tramp.
Right.
So he was living 40 years in the United States.
Wow.
And he never accepted the United States citizenship. No, he was British, and he stayed British for all his life. And then there are a lot of things, political things, like the McCarthyism. Right. And so he had to leave the United States. Yes, because he had a visa, and this visa was just cancelled when he left the United States in 1952.
Wow. That's a lot of fact. Yes. We're very happy, and we're super excited to get into the museum. And just to let you know, this isn't my first time. It's my third time to the Charlie Chaplin World. But today I am very lucky, and I'm glad that we've got a personal guide with us, and we're going to have a very good time. So guys, come on and let's follow us.
In 1952, Charlie Chaplin left the United States because he wanted to show his last Hollywood film, Limelight, because the Limelight was the story was told in London. So he wanted to do this first premiere, he wanted to do in London. So he left the United States, and as he had only a visa, the American government did just cancel his visa, so he couldn't come back or go back to the United States. So he was wondering where to go, and friends of him told Charlie Chaplin that Switzerland would be a nice place, nice people, and he was a bit afraid about going back to the Great Britain, because they might have just frozen his fortune because of all the stories of McCarthyism and the communism and all that. So he found this beautiful place here, Le Manoir de Ban it's called, and the owner before Charlie Chaplin was an American diplomat. And this diplomat, Mr. Minot, diplomat Mr. Minot and his wife called that building Le Manoir de Ban. So that's why this place, this big place, is in fact called Ban, B-A-N, and that's why this house also is called like this. So he was impressed by these big trees. He liked nature, he liked parks, because in Hollywood he had a big house and he had also a big park. So you see this sequoia, this Atlas cedar and the Lebanon cedar, and he was so impressed that the 7th of December 1952, just a few months later that he quit the United States, he found this place, and 3 weeks later, December 31st, he bought it for 600,000 Swiss francs, which was a lot at the moment, but today I can't tell you, it's inestimable. It's a price I can't tell you. And you know, this garden has 4 acres and the whole place 15. So it's really a huge place. And at the moment when he lived here, the highway wasn't there. So a lot of animals from the wood came down, like foxes, like other animals. And just when I came here a few minutes ago, I parked my car, there was a fox on my parking place. So just to tell you, this place is living with all the tourists, is living with all you, and also with all the animals that Charlie Chaplin liked.
Great.
So, private place, because we have three things to visit. It's the studio, with his life in London, with his life in Hollywood, and when he left Hollywood, he came here, and here you will see the private person, Mr. Chaplin, the father, the friend, and the husband. So please enter to this wonderful house built in 1840. And so you can just see Charlie Chaplin when he came here in 1953. He was 64 years old. Now we will visit 3 rooms. This is office, the office where Charlie Chaplin wrote his autobiography. And you must know that he was, he learned everything by himself. He learned his nice English because he talked this Cockney English. He learned to write. He was autodidactic, so he had to learn all the things by his own. He had, he was, how do you say, he was feared about 3 things: that one day he will wake up and have no money, that nobody were laughing about his films, or that everybody is forgetting about him. So in 1964 he was writing his biography, and with 75 years old everybody was talking about him because, yeah, he was writing it here. And here you have his original violin. He was left-handed, and we have the chance to have his original violin here. So a lot of people were here, a lot of invitations, friends, and here you can see this wonderful view to the mountains, to the park, and to the Dent du Midi. You know, these mountains there, the Dent du Midi. And he liked to sit here, down here, and from here he could see his garden, his park, and his mountains and the lake. The piano you see here is original. He bought it with Clara Haskell. Clara Haskell, a Romanian pianist who was also a friend of the family. And the dining room, you see, they have 10 places, 10 seats, 2 adults, the 2 parents, and 8 children. Charlie Chaplin with his last wife, Una, they had together 8 children. and they wanted to have a very nice table to exchange some harmony and just to discuss the daily news. And it was very important that here they talked English. Charlie Chaplin wanted here to talk English. His youth was just a catastrophe, so that's why he wanted to have his days organized 7:15 they had to be here for dinner, and they talked English.
Myself. This is a wonderful evening. I'd like to continue, but I'm stuck.
So that's it from the Charlie Chaplin world. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do like, subscribe and share, and keep smiling.